What is happening, guys? Welcome back to Redbeard's Garage, and we're back on the Talon, and today we're going to be working on its backside. So you can see it's pretty plain back here. If you was to back into a tree, the first thing you're going to hit is this muffler cover. So we went to Super ATV, bought the rear bumper and the hitch. And we're also going to be adding a snorkel because Honda has a really bad location on their air inlet system. So let's get to the workbench and look at these parts. All right, so this is the rear bumper that Super ATV has. They have these for almost every machine on the market, and this is actually matches our front bumper a lot. We went the low profile, and I think this one matches it perfectly. We also went with their Hitch Receiver. This is all going to come with all the bolts you need because you do have to have longer bolts for your radius arms to bolt all this up. And last but not least, we got their depth finder snorkel kit. This comes with everything you need as well to put this on and be able to go under like 4 or 5 feet of water. Will we be doing that? Probably not, but I like to prepare for the worst. So we're going to start with the hitch receiver and the bumper and then do the snorkel last. All right, so first we're going to take off this trim panel here. We got 2 of the push clips on each side, 3 Allens, and then we need to remove the muffler cover, which is 4 10mm bolts. We have 2 on each side. So we're going to start off by taking these push clips out. So we need to remove this muffler to be able to get to this heat shield because we do have to trim it to fit our bumper in there. What I'm going to do is take some Blaster Multimax and spray the hangers on each side just to get them good and lubed up because they're easier to remove like that. So we got to unplug this oxygen sensor. It's located right here on the frame. It's got a push clip. Get it unhooked. Then we have 2 bolts right here that we're going to take off, then we can start working off this bracket. Now we can pry off the hanger.
Come on, baby.
I'm also going to remove the whole hanger from this side because there is some Allens we need to get to. Now we can remove these 3 Allens. We can grab this bracket off of here, lift up the muffler, and slide it off. And now we just got to work off the other bracket.
There we go. Yep. There it is.
It's actually really light.
That's huge. Yeah.
I mean, don't weigh. So we have to trim this heat shield here, and this is a piece of stainless. And that just keeps this plastic from melting here because we have these clamps that clamp around this tubing that bolt the rear bumper up. So what we're going to do is take, and we've converted the millimeters to inches. Can't find my measuring tape.
Sounds good.
So we need to trim this. What we're going to do is measure from one side over 4 3/4. They give you metric measurements, and we're going to actually trim it at 4 5/8, just give us a little wiggle room. So 4 5/8. We're going to measure from the very end here. Ooh, 4 5/8. Now we're going to measure from that mark 2 3/8, and we'll go a little bit wide. We'll go 2 1/2, and then 2 1/2 from this. And that's basically, we're going to cut that line all the way up to this crease. If you can see in here where they bend it up, we're going to cut that square chunk out. We'll do that with a Dremel. It's not going to be fun, but it's way better than taking all that stuff off.
Yeah.
And then we can just assemble everything back on. This is a super simple process. So the kit comes with these longer bolts and new nuts that's shown on screen. So what we're going to be doing is taking off these 4 nuts and we can pull one bolt at a time out, and we're going to push these bolts in from the back side. And then our hitch goes on first, then our bumper over top of it, and then we can clamp our bumper up here. So this is a 17 mil socket and wrench. So we're going to jack this up just to take the pressure off these radius arms so we can push the bolts out. So as we push one out, we'll replace one, and we're going to face them the same way these are, where the nut's going to go on from the outside.
It's got some drop to it.
Oh gosh. Is this an off-road vehicle? Son of a mother. My jack is maxed out. Keep it right there.
That was all me.
You wish. Look at the drop in them CVs. In, almost, so close. There we go. Alright. We're going to pull our hitch bolt out of our hitch. Look at that. Oh! And it slides right over.
Very nice.
So now we have these clamps here. And just lay those around the frame there. Now we can run our bolts in from the bottom that is included with the washers and tighten them up. We can start reinstalling our muffler.
Is that lock right?
No, it's just grease. Keep them from rusting if they sit on the shelf for a while and stuff. I'm telling you, everything so far with Super ATV has been like, this is taking us 30 minutes to put this bumper on.
And a lot of that was cutting and taking the muffler off.
Yeah. There we go. Now we can get this jack out of the way. We need a taller jack. So now we can slide that muffler back in. We're going to slide it back in, pop the hanger in on this side. Then we're going to bolt the assembly up here, and then just slide our plastics in. We have a hitch and bumper. That looks sick, because before it had no protection. And you can't see nothing out of it side by side backing up. I mean, you're going to run over something eventually. Don't hit the bumper. Okay. There we go. It's going to have to come my way quite a bit. Okay. It's on there. The hanger just pops right on there. Make sure your extension's long enough so you can do it from the mailbox. We're gonna put a good helping of copper anti-seize. Go ahead and rub that around the threads, just so when we put an aftermarket exhaust on it in like a week, we won't have these seized up. And also go ahead and plug in our oxygen sensor. There we go. And that'll throw a code if we don't. And now when we tighten these up, we're going to tighten them bouncing from bolt to bolt. So it'll self-align itself. Go. And we can test for any exhaust leaks once we're all finished. Okay, next is we're going to slide this muffler cover. If you have an aftermarket exhaust, of course, we're not going to reuse this. Last piece of the puzzle. Stand back and look at our handiwork. Sick. Yeah, that's sweet. And it looks like it should have been factory on there, to be honest.
It looks like it would have been.
Yeah.
It looks seamless.
And what we have for the hitch on a later episode is we're doing a 6,000 pound winch that'll slide in the hitch. It's going to be a pretty cool setup because we can use it on any chassis we build from now on, as long as we wire up a bulkhead, Allison connection. So yeah, that looks awesome. Now we can go on to the Snorkel. So we're going to pull this air box out. We spin these to the unlock position, then grab it out. There is our factory air box. Now we're going to have to go over here, and we have a few of these clips. We have 3 on this little vent, and like I said, I'm using a little clip tool. You can use a flathead or whatever you got. I would recommend buying a pack of these to keep, just because you're going to break these over time. We're going to have one clip on the inside in here. It's really hard to show. It's right on the corner of the seat. There's a 5th clip. And it's behind the seat belt. This clip tool makes life a lot easier. This is like layered plastic, so it's, yep. There we go, we got that vent out. We're not going to be reusing this. So before we put our intake tube in, we have this piece of aluminum that is powder coated. This is going to replace that grate that was here. So we got to slide it in, and it kind of locks in place down in here behind a piece of plastic. Is that good?
Yep, it's perfect. Yes, dang, sir. Dang. I have been working out.
Or not. I'll give you the benefit of the
snout.
You know where I'm going. So we have a push clip here, and we have one down there. Can you see that one?
Yeah.
So you're going to have some clips all through here. You have one here. You have one located up there. We're basically needing to remove this entire piece of plastic because our Snorkel is located right here. It's in actually a very bad spot because that's where 90% of your dust is. So the Snorkel, I don't really care about going in super deep mud, but I care about just getting my air up out of the way.
Could be worse.
Oh, it's in the worst spot too. It is worse. I'm just waiting for a avalanche of dirt to come in my eyeball. All right. That's how the French say sucks. I'm sure all of us say that. Okay. Side note, if you have Fender Flares, you're gonna have to take the front 2 bolts off. Have to take a crap ton of clips out. And then we're gonna have to snake this thing out of here just so we can show you all the clip holes. So this goes in right here. Shock body is right here. We have a clip here, a clip here, clip there, a clip there, a clip there, a clip there, a clip there. There's a harness clicked in right here. These 2 right here are the outer ones, and we have a clip there. So, and they're super easy to put back in. They just suck pulling. And actually, since this is a new unit, it was like pretty quick. So, look off in here. We have this Snorkel. This is where our Talon takes all of its fresh air in, which makes no sense. And it's kind of restricted because air has to come through this little passage right here for it to even get air. And the air that it's getting from right here is just from, you know, even though it has this shroud, it's getting the worst of dust. So what this is going to do is put our location up here, and eventually I'll probably put a pre-filter on it, a particle separator. So we're just going to take off this hose clamp right here, then this whole tube will pull out, and we'll get to modifying. So this is going to be hard to show you, but we have a clip right there, and then we have one on the back side. That one's going to suck, but this is like the air duct. So for those that don't know, the air tube going up to the inlet has all these reservoirs on it, and those reservoirs are just to resonate sound. So if you was just to cut all those resonators off and tape it up or something, you would get a lot more induction noise. I don't know why they would do that on side-by-side. You want to hear the engine and stuff, but so we should get a cold air intake sound out of this depth finder, I would imagine. So once we get these clips undone, those two, Lonnie has already loosened up the hose clamp down there, and we can pull that whole assembly off. I've never worked on a new vehicle. Like, you know, normally when we got a four-wheeler or something in here, it's 87 years old. So these clips are real nice, the fact that they're coming out like they are. Okay. Now, Lonnie?
Mm-hmm. Ready to come?
Yep.
It's gotta come down now. There we go.
Put that on the other side. There's something hooked up. Oh, there's one more clip.
There's a ton of push clips in this.
Yeah. Okay. Now we can clip this right back on just to kind of cover that hole. With this intake tube, now we can feed it up through this hole, and Lonnie can put it in the original coupler, and he can use the original clamp as well. Look at that, look at that. We're getting it super dirty, but you know, side by side, we're good. So this is what we went from. Like I said, this is killing your induction noise. It's just a automotive thing. I don't know why Honda would choose to do it. So we have these ultra tiny boy 27s here. And this is for our Super ATV snout cover is what I'm gonna call it. We have a bolt and a washer, goes in through the top. Snug that up. You hold that like that, Lon Treasy. And just crank these down, don't go crazy on them. So now we have the depth finder snorkel. We're gonna, I mean, this is gonna be a tight fit like a Toyga. Okay. Boom. Yeah, boom. So now we have this clamp. There's a 5mm Allen in it. What I'm gonna do is pull it apart. Lonnie, might need some hands here. And this is actually clamping the pipe up here. So we need to move this up. Yeah, all the way.
That's
right
where
there.
it hits. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get it started. Like I said, this is acting as the clamp to hold the pipe on. Make sure we're not kinked up too bad anywhere. And we are not. Look at that, look at that. Good thing we got it straight because we tightened it without checking.
That's at least 20 horsepower right there.
Oh,
you got
sure.
2 bumpers.
You kidding me? So I'm gonna clean some of this dirt off. And we can put this inner fender back in. And then the last thing, we have a few check valves to put in. Not looking. Oh.
Alright.
So we're going to open up our hood because there's 2 vents we have to put check valves on. So down in here are 2 hoses. We just put this winch box in, but so they're going to be hard to see, but there's 2 small rubber breather hoses. Can you see this? Mm-hmm. We're going to cut this and we're going to put a PCV valve in line. Now if you take the PCV valves that come with the kit, if you blow air in them, air will only move one direction. Air's blowing, air is not. So we need to put this So the air from the line is coming in and blowing out this way, but it can't go the opposite way. So what we're gonna do is, this is hooked up to the chassis. It literally, Honda is using the chassis to vent the gas tank and everything. And it's all recirculated back into the system. So what we're gonna do is cut this line here, make sure it's blowing this way into the tube, not the opposite direction. So this tube here, we're gonna cut and put that PCV valve in line where air is flowing towards this tube. It's very hard to show you this process.
I can see it.
Okay, yeah, that's good. So basically what this is allowing is, just in case your roll cage had a pinhole or something and gets water in it, it's not gonna let water back into your differential, your radiator, everywhere this system vents to, it's not gonna let air back into the part. There's this clear tube.
Yep.
We're gonna cut it right here and install a check valve flowing away from the fan. Can you hold that little hose?
Yeah.
So you can see we put that PCV valve in line. We're going to try to plug it up a little bit more, and we're good under the hood. So we have these larger PCV valves. If you look on the chassis right here, this hose is plugged into it. We're going to unplug this hose and cut off like 2 inches of hose. Then we're going to come and put this check valve on the old hose and use that piece we cut off. We're going to remove this stiff hose and put the section we cut off on this side and plug it back in. Make sure air is moving towards the tube of the chassis. So here's that vent. After we unhooked it from the chassis, we just dropped it down. We're going to cut just a few inches off of it. So we're going to check, make sure we're installing this piece we cut off on the part. Like I said, it needs to be blowing this way. We can slide this on.
So here's the nipple that it came off of. And it's plugged back in.
So we have this little hose right here. I'm gonna snip it in the center, blow our air towards the roll cage. We have that one installed. So you can see this hose right here, and it has a little clip to keep it out of harm's way. We can put this, it plugs up to the chassis up there. It's kind of hard to get to. So I'm just gonna cut it right here and install it. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take, without cutting our radiator hose. Good?
Yep.
Well, there we go. That is all the PCV vents that we had to install. So now all we have to do is pop the cover back on the air filter and we are done. Guys, that's how easy it is to install the depth finder, snorkel, rear bumper, and hitch. One thing I gotta say is I love how this stuff looks factory. Like, if you've seen this, honest to goodness, you see all these parts, and I guarantee no one would know we did, 4 days worth of building on this thing, like videos.
Yeah, they do a good job of making it look seamless, like it's supposed to be there.
Yeah, because I don't like big gaudy parts that, just make it look awful. This thing is sweet. Like I said, we're gonna do a hitch mount in there that Super ATV has with the 6,000 pound winch. We probably won't leave it while we're riding. We'll probably make a mount for it up here somewhere, because of course if we're going up a steep incline in ruts and stuff, that winch could drag. But yeah, super awesome. Now we can find the biggest mud holes we want and not have to worry about getting water. I'm not about that, but
find the biggest mud holes we want and look at them and drive right past.
Yeah, I could so drive in you if I wanted. But make sure to check out the links in the video's description. Make sure to check them out and support them, because they are bringing this content to you from us. And also, we have a meetup coming. It is April 28th through the 30th at Turkey Bay. You can go to rbgcarts.com/events to find out any information on meetups that we have planned in the future. So make sure to go check that out. We would love to see you there. We'll have this Super ATV built Talon out there ripping in some mud along with a lot of our other builds. So hope to see you there. You gonna be there?
I'll be there.
He'll be there. He said it. If not, he's a liar. But
I'm okay with that. I'm just kidding. I'm not a liar.
thank you guys for watching. I hope you're enjoying this content. We got a lot more coming, so stay tuned. We love you guys, and God bless.